Now I would say the float I use the most would be the heavy base 3, but there's a family of heavy base floats, Dave, isn't there? How did these come about, mate?
It's an interesting story, this one. I mean, if I was starting all over again, I'd probably work the other way around, but it doesn't matter because we got to where we get to in the end. But how this story came about, alloy stems on floats to replace cane and the Allerton era and all that sort of thing. What happened with that is that we lived with that for a long time, and companies, including that, I mean, we used to do the standard shoulder ones and the dome ones, which are still going. 1.4mm stems generally was where it was at. And then one day, a good friend of mine, Tony Burt, on the River Wye, I sat with him. And I love going through people's float boxes. I love it because I can get inspiration ideas.
Yeah.
I end up breaking some people's floats. But I'll say to somebody,
I think you've got one or two you can replace them with.
I'll say to, like, I'll go through a mate's float, but I say, I've got no room left. I say, look, okay, let's have a look at this float. And I'll say, when did you, I found that, and I'll break it off and throw it away. And eventually we'll find some space in the box to get some good floats in, you know. Anyway, so what happened with Tony's project is that he worked for an engineering company, and he got some welding rods at the time, and they were 2.1 millimeters, right, aluminium, right. And what he did was took a traditional top, a big one, and glued some of these in, some of these heavier stems, right, and suddenly you got a really heavy base, right, incredible. And I mean, I remember just picking them up at the time, thinking this is such a great idea, you know. And he got. I mean, his paintwork was. He looked like Stevie Wonder had painted them, but probably in the dark as well. But anyway, we've got dome tops, like the same as we've had in a lot of our floats. We've got the tapered shoulder top and the dome top, right?
Yeah.
Both of them featuring this heavy base. I knew that I wanted these floats in my life. I thought it was a great idea. So we made them in sizes from 6 number 4 up to 14 4s. Then it was a case really of what shall we call them, and names are really important on floats.
Yeah,
because,
absolutely.
You know what you're going to call it. So we sat there brainstorming this one night, and he wanted to call them stable sticks.
Oh right. Yeah.
Nice name, right?
Yeah.
But I said then that's inferring that everything else is not stable.
Yeah.
If you like, on a contra. I was thinking distant sticks because you cast them a long way. But then obviously you're inferring that you can't use them close, which you can. And then I've sat there for a while, and I'm just thinking, I said, what qualities have these floats got? And we just sat there like this. And I said, it's got a heavy base. Straight away, I said, that's it.
Yeah.
So that in itself told its own story. It's a heavy base. So why do we use them? We use them for fishing a distance. Right. When we've got the other, the other ones with the light stems for close in work, these are for fishing a long way out in the river. The dome ones, you can fish 20, 30 yards out if you want to, a long way out. The way you shot them, what we quickly learnt with this is where we normally, like with lignum floats and shot the bottom 2/3. With these, again, we're back on the flow again, so it's flowing this way. Obviously you're getting your float to come through the current like this. You've got your rubber there. This is where your thick rubbers come in, your 6mm, your 8mm rubbers. But your shotting starts here.
Oh right. Yeah.
If you shot down there like a traditional float and you try to cast these, you'll find that the two lots of weight work against each other. And it tangles and it just doesn't
get wrap overs.
By putting the shots literally within a few centimetres of the base of the float, and then stringing them out like number 8s or number 6s, you'll find it casts perfectly. You can sweep it around your head. I mean, that's a bit more difficult to do, but you can actually sweep it around your head and fish a long, long way out. And if you've got an upstream wind, if you're casting right out there, I mean, to fish a stick in any sort of conditions is not easy, but if you've got an upstream wind, it's a lot easier because you're fishing to a bow. If you've got a downstream wind, then you've got to cast down here somewhere to get some sort of control with it. The follow-on from this, I mean, I was that impressed with these floats. I had the first samples, I loved them, but what soon came to me is that for more delicate type fishing, with lighter lines, I mean, we use them a lot on the Y and the 7, and they're brilliant for that, but I wanted something a bit, to tone it down a bit and fish with lighter shotting. So all I did with that is use a slightly thinner aluminium stem. Now, if you look at the difference, I mean, pick it out on camera, but you've got, that's your number 1, and this is your number 3. This is a 2mm stem, and that's 2.1, I think I said. Might be in 2.6, but it's thick. Right, so the beauty of that, and then it's a case, you've got to get the actual body size in balance with the stem. All the way through the sizes on these, you've got different length stems, right the way through to 8 number 4. You see, in this case, you've got a 2 number 4 and a 6 number 4. If you know, you've got to get that balance right to make the float work.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
You know, they run from 2 number 4 to 8 number 4s, and then more recently, it's been such a popular pattern. The number 3 is my favourite.
Yeah, it is
the whole range.
Yeah.
And so I introduced a 10, a 12, and a 14 last winter.
Yeah.
And that covers such a lot of stick float situations.
See, I used it. I specifically picked out the 2 number 4 because it looks such a small float. But I actually used that on the turbulent water over near a weir pool on the Lark. So a little tiny float like that, it's so stable, it goes through beautifully. And that's why I picked that out, because I mean, if somebody says to use a 2 number 4 in flowing water like that, you'd laugh at them. But you told me to.
Right.
And that works an absolute treat in that, and that's why I picked that one out.
Yeah.
That is definitely my favourite float.
So the follow-on from this, you're saying naturally, what was always going to happen is that people that fished in different places had different requirements. So I then got asked, can you make some thinner tips? So, you know, people who fish the Trent a lot on smoother pegs, if you look at the difference on those, you've got a more pronounced dome top, and that's thinner tip. You know, so again with this 4 number 4s here, you'd shot these with number 8 shots, right? Lots of number 8 shots all the way through, right the way through. You'd have your nearest shot about 10 inches from the hook, and then just equally spread all the way.
Yeah.
And make them up on winders. You see, you've got such a good range of sizes and all that now. You make these up on winders. I mean, typically the small ones I would make up on 014 Pro Match. With all the shots on, you know, that one I'd probably make up on about 4 or 5 foot of line, you know, with the loop that we use, and away you go, you know. So, but it's been a massive success story, and I just love using them, you know. I mean, the number 1s and the number 2s only tend to come in play for me in the winter months or the bigger river situations. When I want to really force it out, thick line, you know, because the float's built for that sort of fishing. Whereas the 3s and the 4s, so I was saying to you, I'd like to do it the other way around, and the number 4 would become number 1, but you know, it's just part of the development thing, really. But you know, there's something there, and if people have never fished with them, they should give these a go, because they work completely different to any stick float that you've normally used.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. Nice float, that. Nice float.